好吗？就是刚才是 Jennifer 的第二部分，所以 OK，this is not。啊，咱们一开头的15分钟的介绍，直到嘉宾单个分享，这是 Jennifer，是吧？然后单人的分享的第一个部分是林普，然后到单人分享的第二个部分是 Jennifer。然后，所以我们后面的这个互动环节的前十五分钟就是林普，后15分钟就是 Jennifer，然后最后整个的这些同语的分享，包括我的结束语，一共有十五分钟，就还是林普吧，这样你们俩还挺平均的，可以吗？就最后一步是有稿件的，OK。好，我最后再确认一下哈，就是一开头的13点到13点15，一直到我说 This event will last for approximately 90 minutes，到这里为止，然后到马上要到嘉宾分享了的这个部分，都由 Jennifer 来负责。从嘉宾分享的第一句 Now without further ado, let's get started with the sharing today，一直到这个嘉宾分享完。整个这一块儿，这是 Hannah 的部分，的分享部分都是由林普来负责。然后Hannah 分享完，马上上朱帆，朱帆的语言会是中文，我介绍他的语言会是英文。我介绍完他，他上整个这个15分钟是 Jennifer，然后互动问答开始，我的介绍包括最开始的十五分钟全部都是林普，后面的十五分钟是 Jennifer。在这期间，你们可能要来回 switch 你们的 channel，因为有可能你是要中翻英，有可能你要英翻中。然后结束之后，最后的这个部分，我说 As heated as our discussion is, I'm afraid we're running out of time。然后今天怎么怎么，我们现在让童宇来分享童宇的分享，然后包括我最后说 Thank you 童宇，Thank you all for joining the event today，一直到结束语全部都是林普，清楚了吗？嗯，OK。主要今天晚上的挑战就是两位译者要不断的去 switch 那个 channel 哈，其他的我觉得应该没啥了。OK，好，我从这里出去了。我们暂时先这样安排吧，两位译者吧，童宇。Hannah's here。Hey Hannah。 Hello and welcome to the seventh adoption dialogue by the Mother's Bridge of Love. We'll start promptly.
There were two women who never knew each other. One you do not remember, the other you call mother. Two different lives shaped to make you one. One became your guiding star, the other became your sun. The first one gave you life, and the second taught you to live it. The first gave you a need for love, the second was there to give it. One gave you a nationality, the other gave you a name. One gave you a talent, the other gave you aim. One gave you emotions, the other calmed your fears. One saw your first sweet smile, the other dried your tears. One sought for you a home that she couldn't provide. The other prayed for a child, and her hope was not denied. And now you ask me through your tears, the age-old question through the years, heredity or environment, which are you the product of? Neither, like neither. Just two different kinds of love. By an unknown author, a proud and loving mother to the amazing Emma Yu Chow Chow.
Hello and welcome to the seventh online adoption dialogue created and endorsed by the Mother's Bridge of Love. This event will start promptly. Please note that this meeting will be recorded. Please feel free to turn off your camera if you do not wish your image to be recorded. And this event provides simultaneous interpretation service. Please select your language channel at the right bottom of the Zoom page. Please be noted, during this event, we'll have spontaneous Chinese and English interpretation. We have one sharer from China who speaks Chinese, so the main language used while he's sharing will be Chinese, and the interpretation will be provided in English. All right, it's 1 o'clock in the UK. Let's get started. Please admit the people waiting in the waiting room, Tongyu. I'd love to introduce to you, while we start, the charity organization behind this amazing event, the Mother's Bridge of Love. or as we often call it, the MBL. The MBL is a UK-based charity founded by Xinran in 2004. Say hi, Xinran, with your hand. This is Xinran. Over the past 20 years, the MBL has served as a bridge between birth and adoptive culture, between the East and the West, and between the rich and the poor. We have hosted hundreds of cultural exchange programs with adoptive families from 27 countries. Last year, MBL was actually celebrating its 20th birthday. From 2022 onwards, MBL has organized 3 annual UK English Chinese bilingual recitation competition, attracting students aged 6 to 18 from across the UK to compete in their understanding and mastering of both Chinese and English language. We have also created the Books for Kids project, which has helped establish 28 school libraries in rural China, as well as the Color of Us art exhibition in London, featuring 85 original artworks by young people from around the world, including 33 pieces done by disabled children. During COVID, MBL has organized 14 hugely successful online forums featuring prominent cultural figures and developed collaborations with organizations in Europe, China, and the United States. The Adoption Dialogue was set up by the Mother's Bridge of Love in 2004 with the aim of helping international Chinese adoptees and adoptive families communicate with each other, raise social awareness around adoption, and support each other and adoptive families across the world. Previously, we have successfully collaborated with Canada, the United States, Norway, and the United Kingdom to hold multiple adoption forums. In 2025, this series of events revolves around adoption healing. We hope to highlight real personal experiences and feelings from adoptees and adoptive families and connect people through sharing and healing together. Tonight's event will focus mainly on the true story of a British Chinese adoptee recounting her reunion experience with her adoptive parents and her biological family from China. We will invite both the adoptee and her biological younger brother from China to share their experiences of separation and reunion, highlighting how the two families across countries overcame many challenges to finally be reunited. I'm your host today. My name is Siwei Tan. I'm currently a PhD candidate at the School of Oriental and African Studies, University of London. I'm also an adoptee born and raised in China. This year, I'm serving as a volunteer at the Mother's Bridge of Love, and it's a great honor for me to host this event and to meet you all. Okay, before we actually start with the sharing, I'm going to say this event program is as follows. As you can see, you have already seen a short introduction of the organization that created and endorses this event, the Mother's Bridge of Love, as well as the events held previously this year. We'll now move on to the sharing session. Before that, I'll have to tell you, in this event, we have 2 panelists, as I said before, who will tell their stories, highlighting their experiences of separation and reunion. Each sharer will have 15 minutes to share their stories. During and after the sharing, you may put your questions or comments in the chat box of this Zoom meeting, and we'll get to them in the subsequent discussion and Q&A session. In the discussion and Q&A session, the floor will be opened to you. You may ask questions to a specific sharer or both sharers or everyone present today. After the Q&A session, we'll invite Tongyu Li, a volunteer at MBL, to share with us her experience of introducing the Roots and Heritage Tour offered at MBL before we move to the final closing remarks. and this event will last for approximately 90 minutes. Okay, as we all get excited about this part, let's move on. Now, without further ado, let's get started with the sharing already. And we'll welcome Hannah first. Hannah is a Chinese adoptee living in the UK. In 2024, she found her birth family through a DNA match and met them for the first time in the UK in 2025. Please remember, during her sharing, you can put your questions and comments in the chat box of this Zoom meeting. As you listen to her sharing, and please be mindful with your comments. This is a supportive event, let me remind you, revolving around adoption healing. So we will tolerate no hateful or disrespectful comments. Thank you. Hannah, the floor is yours. Please unmute yourself.
Oh, hi, Siri. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you all. So yeah, sorry, I've got my phone here with some notes on, so apologise if that pops in. But yeah, really just wanted to speak to you all, obviously, about my adoption and reunion, as already introduced there. So my name's Hannah, and I'm 29 years old, and I am a Chinese adoptee living in the UK. I was adopted when I was 20 months old, and brought back to the UK by a British couple. And from my adoption, there wasn't too much information at all, really. All of my paperwork stated unknown, parents unknown, place of birth unknown. But growing up, I always knew that I was adopted and I was slightly different to everybody else. There was never really a dramatic reveal at all. It was just sort of part of who I am and part of life. My parents have always been super open about and transparent about it, so that was really nice. And yeah, just I remember my earliest memory actually was I was in primary school. I was walking to school with my mum, who is white with blonde hair, and I said to her, "How do you have blonde hair, and how do I have black hair?" So yeah, it's never been a secret, which has been absolutely wonderful. And yeah, from those moments, it's where I started piecing together who I am. So yeah. When I say my adoptive parents have always been supportive, we've celebrated Chinese New Year together. We celebrate Gotcha Day, which is the date I was adopted on. And we've joined Chinese support groups from a young age. So I now have a support network of friends who are all also adopted. And I now have a little community of people who are like me and navigating their journeys of identity as well. So really, really nice to have that support system going there for us. And growing up, because my parents and family have been so transparent, I have always been as well. So it's never been a topic I have shied away from. I remember even from a young age in British schools anyway, we do things called show and tell, and children can bring in anything really, whether it's something from a holiday or something special to them. And I remember I'd always bring in baby photos and explain my adoption to everybody. And even taking that up to old ages within school, even for my English language GCSE exam, we would have to prepare a presentation to speak in front of the class. And again, mine was about my adoption. So yeah, it's always been a subject there that I'm really happy to talk about. But yes, so I feel like as being so open, I was never really teased at school, so I've never really faced any of those challenges, which is I'm really, really grateful for. And I know I'm very lucky because I know not every adoptee experiences that. So yes, I don't take that for granted at all. Obviously saying that part of it where it's been easy and things, that not everything has been easy. There's always been that little part of my identity, even as simple as filling in a form, maybe at a dentist or a GP surgery, asking for your ethnicity, your nationality. I'd always kind of look for a moment and think, oh goodness, what do I put? So I think we've got it down where I'd always put nationality as British, ethnicity as Chinese. I actually fully gained my British citizenship at the age of 6 when I actually got readopted in the UK. So we went to a British court, which meant I actually obtained British paperwork. So yes, that question now doesn't stump me. It's more questions I've had as I'm older. I've actually had somebody come up to me and say, "Where are you from? Your English is really, really good." I always like to reply in a sarcastic way and say, "Oh, I'm from Surrey in England," and just watch their faces go into a bit of shock, which is quite funny to watch. So I always try to make humour out of it anyway. During my upbringing, though, I've always obviously been curious about my birth family and where I've come from. And that feeling would always come in waves. I would start my searches, I would go down rabbit holes, I'd be online, and then I would hit dead ends and really just kind of put that thought to bed for that day and carry on and so forth. That would be sort of an ongoing thing. It gets a bit emotionally draining, and where I know some online sites in China are sometimes not as easy to see here in the UK, we would hit some dead ends. So I'd close that chapter for the day and try again another day. But part of me was also scared when I decided to take the route into finding my family, not just for what I might find. It might be not news that you wanted to hear, but I was also scared of hurting any, like, my adoptive parents' feelings, because I didn't want them to feel that they weren't enough, because they definitely are, and obviously having a wonderful upbringing here. But that itch to find my birth family never went away, no matter how much I tried to think about everybody else's emotions. And for me, I realise as I'm getting older, the time is ticking. And if my birth parents were still out there, they would also be getting older as much as I'm getting older. So I decided that in 2020, it was time to take action. And I did. I don't know if it's widely available around the world, but there's a 23andMe DNA test, which I know we can get over in the UK. It was as simple as sending a saliva sample off in the post, and the wait began, really. It didn't take too long, actually, but I received my results back. And unfortunately, there was nothing major. There was a few vague matches, but no direct birth family appeared on that. I had done some more research into what to do with this data and how it can be seen in China for any potential searches in China. And I stumbled across a website called GEDmatch. That's GED Match. And this is where you can upload your DNA results that you've done from your 23andMe kit. You upload it onto there, and it actually becomes visible for researchers and other users in places like China, where we know things are often restricted to see out there. But I decided to do that in January 2021 and kind of just uploaded it, forgot about it, and went on with everyday life, really. Little did I know that DNA sitting on there, ready really for a match. So jump forward to June 2024, I received an email off another project called the Nanchang Project. This is a non-profit which helps Chinese adoptees search for birth families. The email read, "We added a new DNA sample to GEDmatch yesterday of a birth family who is looking for their daughter, born in July 1996, possibly adopted from the Gao province in Jiangsu. The son did a DNA test today, and I can see it has matched yours with near 100% match. Congratulations." Obviously, receiving this email, I was in complete shock. It did actually take me a couple of weeks to actually read this email because I missed it, unfortunately. And instead, they had been chasing me, into which I did actually finally read the message. Yeah, again, like I say, I was in complete shock. I did actually have to review the email with one of my colleagues because I was at work, just to make sure I wasn't going completely mad, or that I wasn't being scammed or anything like that. Once we did realise that this was real, the process moved very quickly. Within the next day, I was connected to my birth family in China via WeChat. This was surreal. Being an only child for 28 years of my life to now finding out I am one of 4 siblings was mind-blowing. We had constant messages back and forth from my birth parents and all my new siblings. We were exchanging photographs, stories, and trying to piece together really the parts of our lives that we had missed together. This came with obviously so much joy. Really, obviously loved getting to know them. And the WeChat functions are absolutely amazing with the translation. So it came really, really naturally and easily, which was nice. And it was almost that feeling of when people say it's like you've known them your whole life, even though we haven't met before. So that was really, really amazing. Obviously, with that joy as well came with quite complex emotions as well. I found it quite hard to function myself within that first sort of week or so, just taking in the news, really. I found telling my adoptive parents quite a hard process as well. I knew it would stir up feelings not only obviously with myself but with them. And yes, it brought a lot of joy and they were extremely happy. It also brought a certain sort of vulnerability and fear. I obviously wanted to know that this reunion did not change anything and our relationship, but it was quite hard trying to navigate my own feelings while also trying to think of somebody else's feelings at the same time. But as like I say, they have been so supportive. So it was a journey that we've taken together, and they've been great kind of along the way. But yes, so skip forward, we've been in communication ever since. And obviously the next steps after meeting them is we need to meet face to face. So there was no doubt about it, and I wanted it to be quite soon. The only my dream personally has always been to go back to China and to where I'm from and reconnect in the country that I was born in. But unfortunately, my father over here cannot fly. And I knew that I could not do this process without him. I knew it couldn't just be myself and my mum. So it was obviously sitting there thinking of coming up with options. And one day I thought I would just put it out there, message my family in China and say, would you possibly consider coming to the UK instead? Because obviously I really want to meet you. To my surprise, actually, without hesitation, it came back as a yes. So yeah, fast forwarding again to May the 30th this year, I, with my family, went to Heathrow Airport and yeah, through the arrivals gates comes my whole Chinese family. So my three siblings, both of my birth parents, and it felt like a movie. It was amazing seeing them walk through the gates. We were there for quite a while watching people come through, and it's so weird. I caught a glimpse right as they walked through the doors, and straight away I knew it was them. It is a weird connection. That their family, obviously there was lots of hugs, tears, there was laughter. A very clever, special. My friend came with me and managed to capture videos and photos. So obviously memories that we will keep forever, which is lovely. Turns out my most valuable possession of that day was a little £60 translating device I had purchased from Amazon the day before, and that became invaluable for our trip. We used it throughout. You could translate back and forth, as unfortunately I do not speak Mandarin, although I know I do need to learn. But yes, during their visit, it was amazing. We definitely made the most out of their stay. I think we absolutely exhausted the family, but we took them around London, doing all the sightseeing. We made sure they visited a proper British seaside town. We also did decide to take them to our local Chinese restaurant. It wasn't quite as authentic as home, but they did really enjoy it, which was lovely. And we also did throw a big party at our house, bringing all our friends and families together. Everybody could meet, and that was the most special moment, having all the best people in our lives all together. So that was really, really wonderful. And really, I just wanted to take a moment as well in this, just to thank everybody from MBL. We couldn't have done it without them. They provided us, I got in contact and we had 3 lovely volunteers come and join us for different dates during their visit and provided amazing translation. I don't think it was anything that they had done before, but it was really, really amazing to have someone join us for the day and actually be able to kind of translate without a machine, and it was very natural and amazing. So yeah, that support was absolutely invaluable and made it feel more of a human process, and people came out of their shells a bit, which was lovely. But yes, just to reflect, it has been an absolutely wild journey. Finding family across the continent to yourself and knowing that there's people out there for you as well, and people that look like you. I think that was my main thing. Like I said, my parents are blonde, blue eyes. I've never had anything to connect, looks wise, but know that I think you'll see, I think I saw Drew Fan join, we look so alike, which I think is absolutely crazy to see somebody else that looks like myself. So yeah, just to know that there's love across the world is so wonderful. Yeah, and I'm honoured to be part of the journey and to be invited to this and talk to people. As I say, when I first kind of got told I found them, the first thing I wanted to do is look online to see who else has been through this experience, hear their stories. So that is a big part of why I wanted to join. But yeah, really, that's my story in a nutshell. Like I say, it's been absolutely wild, but yeah, just having the gratitude of now having 2 families, which is absolutely amazing. But yeah, just wanted to thank you for your time.
Thank you, Hannah. It was so beautiful. I think a lot of adoptees like me may have teared up a little bit. It touched all our hearts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let me share my screen again so that we can see. Well, we'll see Zhu Fan, but here's him. They do look alike. People, I have seen them both. This is Zhu Fan. He will be our next sharer today. He's from Anhui, China, and he's currently running a supermarket. He's also volunteering to help reconnect overseas adoptees with their birth families in China. Again, please remember you can put your questions and comments to Zhu Fan and his story in the chat box as you listen to his sharing. Again, please be mindful with your comments. This is a supportive event, and we will tolerate no hateful or disrespectful comments. Thank you. 朱帆，你准备好了吗？直接开麦吧，哥们儿。解除静音。哎，可以
OK，
了。
可以。
可以。
Hello，大家好，我叫
Hello
朱帆，来自中国安徽芜湖的一个小县城，从事超市生意，和父母一起经营。然后，现在已经结婚，有2个小男孩，双胞胎。我应该，sorry，首先刚才我姐姐已经把一个很完美的一个梦说出来了，对我来说是一个梦，当然它是一个现实。我发表一下自己的感受吧。其实姐姐的被抱养走是一个意外，我们也非常的愧疚。特别我仅代表我自己的感受来说，我作为姐姐的弟弟来说，其实我是最大的愧疚。包括我在私底下去问他的时候，我在无数的去关心他。虽然说我比他小，但是我还是在无数的关心他，因为作为来说，我觉得是因为我的出现导致他的这样的一个事情。所以说，当然，但是我的父母没有重男轻女的思想，只不过是在当时的年代，因为通讯的原因，因为当时我们国家的，然后被骗走了，然后我父母也寻找了很多年，然后到我成年的时候，我就开始接班这个事情，因为这个对于我们的家庭来说，这是一个最重要的一个任务，也是一个为整个家庭画一个圆满的一个句号。所以说我接班，他们也没有文化的思想，他们只能通过海报，或者是在当地的一些媒体去发布一些寻人启事。当然，在我们的这个思想里面，我们并不知道自己的姐姐已经在国外了。我在2015年到2018年期间，我们一直在不断的去发布网络的信息、寻人启事，包括一些通过自己的关系啊，去问一些当地的政府的人员能不能有什么渠道能告诉我们一下一些消息，包括我们也跟当地的警方去抽取我们的血液 DNA。然后父母给到我的消息是他寻找这么多年的消息，就是说 通过这个老奶奶知道我的姐姐在中国江苏高邮市福利院报出去，但是不知道是在国内还是在国外。通过我不断的去询问，找关系或者是其他的一些方式，通过媒体的压力也好，最终福利院告诉我的姐姐在国外，但是因为各种的原因不告诉我的姐姐在哪个国家。直到去年的某一天，有一位志愿者杨老师，他告诉我的姐姐可能会被找到。作为我来说，我毫不犹豫的就配合他做 DNA 啊，然后把一些情况都告诉他。因为中国现在的环境里面有很多怕别人诈骗啊，什么什么之类的东西，所以说我还是毫不犹豫坚信因为作为我来说，我不会放过一丝丝寻找我姐姐的机会。所以说我通过跟他的不断的去交流过后，他告诉我的姐姐在英国，并且呃就是相互去添加了微信，组建了这一个家庭。在一个家庭朋友这个群里面去聊天，很开心，也像是一场梦一样，就感觉希望自己在这个梦里面不要再醒来，一直保留在这个梦里面。所以说，通过这么时间的交流，我们非常真诚的邀请姐姐能来到中国，能参观一下中国。当然，姐姐因为刚才也说到了，因为特殊的原因不能来，所以说我们毫不犹豫的就开始着手办理英国的签证，一些行程计划。因为对于我们来说，我们是非常恐惧的，因为大家也应该了解到，我是不会说英语的，我的父母。我的姐姐都不会说英语，所以说对于我来说，去英国是一件非常恐惧的事情，因为什么都不懂，但是我们还是为了去见姐姐，毫不犹豫的去过去。好，OK，然后其他的事情，刚才姐姐也跟大家分享了，我们在伦敦的这10天过得非常的开心，非常的幸福。呃，我说一些自己的感受，就是觉得，在此就是因为两国的差异有文化，我只能表达我内心的一些热情也好，但是不知道他们是否能感受到我的热情。如果有什么做的不好的地方，希望不要生气，不要误会。我尽力的去做了这些事情，然后呢，发表一些个人的感受吧。通过这件事情过后呢，我们和姐姐团聚了，也刚才姐姐也说了，不断的去相互的去分享吃了什么呀，周末在做什么呀，最近的父母过得好不好呀？对呀，现在对我来说，我已经有2个爸爸，2个妈妈，对不对？对呀，所以说是一个超级大的一个家庭，我也在不断的去关心他们，姐姐也不断的去关心我们，所以就是很幸福，很幸福。然后呢，我现在通过伦敦回到了中国过后，我现在也在努力的去帮助一些还没有找到的家庭，去帮助他们能实现这一个伟大的梦想。谢谢，我大概就说这么多，谢谢大家。
好，谢谢朱帆。朱帆先别走哈，我们还有一个互动环节，可能我们有观众会有问题
OK
想问你哈。OK，
OK。
all right. Thank you. That was beautiful. Again, you two look a lot alike. I think we can see that, and it's amazing to see you guys here. And it's a touching story. Thank you both. Um, Thank you for listening to our stories, our audience. Now we'll open the floor to you. This is the next session of today's event, the Q&A session. Let me introduce the general guidelines. Again, please put your questions and comments in the chat box for Zhufan or for Hannah or for both of them or for everybody present today. Please, you can designate one question to one person or everyone. If the question is not designated, please, if you want to answer it, please raise your hand. Sharers and audiences who are answering questions, please keep each answer within 3 minutes so that we may save time for more questions. And as usual, please be mindful, respectful to all participants in all questions and comments. this is a supportive event and we will tolerate no hateful or disrespectful comments. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go through the chat box. Let's start with the first question tonight. I think we have. All right. Hannah, this question is for you. Thank you so much for the sharing today. What's the one most memorable moment in your family dynamics? And what is the lowest moment, the hardest moment you remember or rather want to forget?
Thank you. When you say family dynamic, I assume it's regarding the reunion, but obviously the best moment, not only for the reunion and everything, is the first time I saw them at the airport. That's definitely a memory that will stay with me. I think about it often. I look through the photos. So I don't know if it was regarding that, but that is just the top moment ever. So I would definitely say that. Definitely a low. It was within the first week of finding out, I think, with my parents. There was definitely, I didn't want to hurt their feelings, so then I would become a bit more closed off. And we don't work like that. We're very open with each other, so that felt odd. And it was obviously moments that I didn't want to be closed off, and I was thinking maybe I shouldn't be telling them all the messages that are coming through in case I hurt their feelings. But yeah, no, like I say, it's something that we've all worked on, and now that we've all met, something that's much better. But that was definitely a low kind of within the start of things there.
Thank you, Hannah. One more question to Hannah. Do you speak Mandarin Chinese now? If yes, how is it helpful to your daily life?
Unfortunately not. I do need to learn it. I have Duolingo on my phone, so I do sit there some evenings and have a go. But no, I definitely need to learn it a lot more. Drew Fan did give me some lessons while he was over here. But yes, I definitely need to have a practice.
All right. We have one more question, I think, for Hannah. Since the government in China seems to have cancelled international adoptions and they have seemed to dislike the DNA searches, can you say something about your biological family? How did you feel during this experience of yours? Did you feel secure? What about the security question? And this audience also asks, they think about both government negative reaction as well as organized criminal activities. What would your advice be for those starting to search now?
Oh, I don't know. It's been a really easy process. So unfortunately, it's hard to say. But obviously, leaving my DNA online for so long and forgetting about it, so then kind of being contacted out of the blue, it kind of all just happened from there. In terms of kind of safety and things, I've not been hassled. I've not had anything negative come through at all. It was a really easy process of writing the visa invitation letter for them to come over here. The documents that were needed were not too invasive. There wasn't too many questions. They just needed, obviously, proof of adoption and things like that, and then proof of sort of my British paperwork as well. But yeah, there wasn't too much digging or, like I say, anything too invasive or made us or my family feel uncomfortable at all. Obviously, hearing the news, I think it was last year or the year before, about international adoption being stopped was really sad, and I was sad for anybody that was obviously going through the process or that was ever looking to do that. But yeah, like I say, nothing was too complicated. Really, the help from the Nanchang project was amazing on, I think, both of our sides. Not only them. They were happy to take it as slow as we wanted our end. They said they didn't have to put us in contact straight away. Obviously, I jumped at the chance, and I think even on the China side, because they helped them do their DNA on their part, I think they've been so helpful, and I think Jufan now helps them in China as well to help other families. So yeah, I've not really experienced any sort of negativity or anything like that from this at all. So yeah, it's all been sort of positive and actually pretty easy.
Thank you, Hannah. Another question for you, Hannah. What was it like growing up as a Chinese adoptee in the UK?
That's also a hard one because I don't know any different. Like I said, I've had a really wonderful upbringing. I've not been teased or anything at all. I've always liked being quite different. That's always it's always nice. And even with everyday life, I like to be different. If there's a cardigan popular in one colour, I try to get it in the opposite colour. And I always try to be a bit different. But no, it's absolutely been wonderful. My friends that are not adopted as well are so supportive. Sometimes I feel like people get bored of hearing this, but if we're out at places, my friends always say, tell them about this. So they're all really excited and supportive as well. So no, it's been fantastic actually, and I do love England.
Thank you, Hannah. All right, another question regarding the DNA test. How did you know the truth about your biological connection? Based on the percentage, did you do any additional tests to be 100% sure?
So that did actually go through our minds, that we were potentially wanting to test more, but it is something that I had questioned the Nanchang project about, saying, obviously I don't want to get my hopes up, how accurate is this? And it was something like 99.9999999%. So it was pretty certain, and they even said on their part they wouldn't have reached out if there wasn't some certainty, because obviously they wouldn't want to upset both sides if it wasn't accurate. So no, I haven't actually proceeded to do anything more. It was a thought, but then actually upon meeting them, where I do look so alike, I feel like there wasn't any need for anything else. My birth mother and myself, we're spitting image. So
thank you, Hannah. Would you give any advice to other adoptees considering searching for their biological parents?
Like I say, it wasn't a thing where I had been actively searching, so I don't remember all of the steps. Like I said, it was quite a few years ago that I had left my DNA, but more in terms of advice, it would be never to give up, really, because I never ever thought that this would happen. It was always something that I had hoped, but never did I think it was. And I know it's one of those cliche things that you never believe it would happen, but really I did not believe it. So it's not to give up. It's definitely, I was trying to join as many Facebook groups out there and look at as many Instagrams and really research, but more from like people's point of views, and join chat rooms and get advice that way. So I found that really useful, because it was actually real people giving you advice, not just sort of typing it in on Google kind of thing. So yeah, joining as many sort of support groups as possible, and I found that really helpful.
Thank you, Hannah. This is another question for you. Did you feel any, I think you've shared a little bit, but do you want to elaborate on the complex feelings, emotions during your journey of finding your birth family?
Yeah, it was obviously, like I say, so many feelings, and not only the joy, but the other side of it as well. I think the most part for me as well was knowing that I was wanted by my family, because obviously for me, all I had learnt about in Chinese history is the one-child policy. It's because of that. But then actually hearing from my birth family's point of view, how much they didn't want to give me up, and obviously how harrowing it must have been for them to do it. So it was kind of taking into their feelings as well, and just learning that backstory. I only caught part of Drufang's translation actually before I figured out how to get the captions, but I don't know if he sort of went into details. But obviously from my side, not coming to the UK till 20 months, in that period of time I didn't actually know how old I was or how long I had with my birth family. But it turns out I was only 40 days old before I left them. So even hearing that was so emotional. That's a tiny baby so I didn't have long with them at all. And even now, where my friends are starting to have babies, I look at their babies and think, I was that small, that I was that young. So that definitely brings more into it. And I don't know if it's ignorance, but I had never really thought too much about my birth family's emotions with it all. But really hearing how much they didn't stand for this law out there, and they didn't want to give me up, and that was also quite nice, where it was that I wasn't just left, that I was cared for and things. So yeah, like I say, bringing up all of that, where you just think it's a simple giving up for adoption, you move to, it just happens, but actually now hearing everybody's thoughts and feelings.
Thank you, Hannah. Our next question is for朱帆。朱帆，你还在吗？朱帆，我们观众有一个问题想问你
Hello， 我在。
从小就一直
Hello，
都知道有一个被收养的姐姐吗？然后家人之间在见到姐姐和联系到姐姐之前，有聊过这个话题。
第一个，在我记事的时候，我就知道有这么一个事情。当然，我的姐姐不是被弃养的，只是当时被拐骗的。所以说，我这个问题对于我们的家庭来说，并不是一个敏感的话题。我们就是在我很小的时候，我的父母就已经在寻找了，只不过他们的这个渠道并不是很信息很通畅，所以说等我记事的时候，等我成年的时候，我在寻找我的姐姐。也就是说，这个话题不是一个敏感的话题。我们的一个家族，我们的一个家庭都在为这件事情去打听、去寻找。OK。
好，谢谢朱帆。Thank you, 朱帆。Another question for Hannah. Do you feel any obligations towards your birth family? What kind of relationship are you imagining you will have with your birth family in the coming years? Do you chat a lot? Do you have any plans of visiting them in China anytime soon?
Yes, so we chat a lot, which is really nice. Just even updates about what each other are having for lunch, and obviously trying to catch each other in the time difference proves sometimes a challenge. In terms of sort of like obligations, I see obviously where we're not seeing each other every day, and also being an adult now as well. I think it would be different if I was younger, obviously living an adult life. I just see them more as like best friends, if that's a thing, that I know that they're always there, and I know I know they're there now, and that's always nice, and they've always got your back and you can always talk to them. But obviously it doesn't change anything with my family here. In terms of, obviously love is a hard word because it's somebody that I've just met and just learnt about, but obviously that's a difficult one actually. But I think it doesn't change dynamics. I just know that there's others out there that I now love and care for, and they love and care for as well.
Thank you, Hannah. Another question is for both you and 朱帆。接下来一个问题是给 Hannah 和朱帆两个人的。We'll first go to Hannah. 我们先问 Hannah. So how did you handle was there any negative emotion growing up or doubts when you were young? Would you share them with your friends? Did you share them with your friends?
I didn't actually, just because my main group of friends, none of them are adopted, so I didn't really share anything. But it's really weird. I'm not really a negative person anyway, and if anything negative, I can easily brush something off, and I'm back to happy. So nothing really ever weighs me down. But there was always doubts, as if, oh, do I actually want to open up this whole new chapter? Should I be looking into this, or should I just be happy with what I've got? But like I said earlier, there was always that kind of niggly feeling that I'd more regret not looking into this than I would doing it. But no, there was nothing sort of negative. But yeah, like I said, for me, it more felt that time was ticking. If I had left it too late and found out that I couldn't even reach them, I think that would hurt more. So yeah, I was happy to do it now. And obviously I was always, even my parents even said, if it did come out that we found them, like it obviously has, and I didn't want anything to do with it, at least it would be on my terms, and I would at least have that, and I could put it to bed. But obviously I wanted everything to do with them. So
Thank you, Hannah. 我们接下来这个问题刚刚也是提出来，是为朱帆同样问朱帆和 Hannah， 所以现在我们也来问问朱帆。We're gonna ask 朱帆，小的时候有没有一些不好的情绪，就是有感受到一些很不舒服的、不开心的时刻，关于这个被收养的姐姐， 然后有没有任何的一些关于这个事儿的疑问，从小的时候，然后包括有没有跟自己的朋友分享过自己的这些疑问啊、怀疑啊、这些不好的情绪或者是痛苦啊，或者是自己的一些想法，朱帆。哎，朱帆，你静音了。朱帆还在吗？朱帆？I think
Hello
he's
Hello
off。
Hello，
对，就是刚刚那个问题，我说有没有过一些情绪？
OK，我听到，就是呃，从小的时候，当然了，也很困惑。当然，这个问题从小到现在，我刚才也和大家说了，是我的一种压力，我一直都在责怪自己，就是为了这件事情。所以说，从小我就是一个要强心，我不知道能不能听得懂，要强心比较强的一个人。我希望自己未来可以变得强大一点，这样我就可以通过自己的强大来寻找我的姐姐。
嗯
OK，
朱帆，还有一个问题是问你俩，another question for both of you, but we'll go with 朱帆 first, I guess。我们先问朱帆吧。嗯，咱们这个跨文化的这个关系里面儿有哪些没有想到的一些挑战？关于对方，关于自己的姐姐，整个这个成剧的这个过程，有哪些东西文化性的这种是你发现哇，居然会这样的？对于对方的这个文化和这个文化有一些不同的想法的，你们相认之后。
抱歉，我有点卡，没有听清楚。
没事儿，就是说，有哪些在你们相认的过程中发现的这种跨文化的，之前没有预料到的一些挑战，或者觉得很有意思的部分，从来没想到会发生在这个关系里面的这种文化之间的这种碰撞啊，这种不同的感觉。
这个倒没有，因为我从到达英国伦敦过后，见到我姐姐，见到我的第二个爸爸妈妈，我就觉得就感觉以前相处过一样，很亲切，一切的烦恼，一切在没有去英国伦敦之前的一些担忧就已经抛之脑后了，已经没有一些顾虑了。
好，太好了，
OK OK，
嗯，好，the same question goes to Hannah. What are some of the unexpected challenges of intercultural relationships have you found? Have you learned anything new or surprising about each other's cultures?
Yeah, it was really obviously learning two different cultures, and when they were before they came over, obviously we did a lot of research. Just didn't want to offend anybody. But yeah, like Drew Fenner said, they while they were over here, they abided to our cultures because they didn't want to offend anybody either. So it was really just sort of teaching each other back and forth, and it was just really open. There would be yeah, it was just yeah, sort of teaching as we went along really. No sort of challenges really, because both sides were really, really respectful of each other. And like I said, I'd done research prior, but obviously, yeah, knowing things about China and like how boys and things are with the families and who kind of hierarchies and things like that. That was interesting to kind of learn about it and kind of see. But yeah, challenges wise, there wasn't really any. Other than I thought I was quite good at using chopsticks, but it turns out I'm not. So I got taught how to do that properly. But yeah, nothing really. Like I say, we sort of just did it as we go along and really just asked each other questions back and forth. Am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? So yeah, just being really open, really.
Thank you, Hannah. Another question for you, I guess. Did you find that your adoption paperwork was accurate?
I did actually, because there was always going to be question marks. I always questioned if my birthday that was stated on my paperwork was actually my birthday. Turns out it is. Because I was thinking, how would they know the actual day? They might be able to know the sort of year and how old I am, but no, it was accurate to the day, which was good. Yeah, it all seems pretty accurate because they could give us the town that I was from, but everything else unknown, and obviously that corresponds with where Drew Fan lives and has told me about. So no, it seems pretty accurate, which is reassuring actually.
I may have to visit a question that has already been raised before. Any plans to visit China soon?
I
Hannah?
really hope so. I am looking into sort of next year. It's just really hard with the UK and annual leave at certain jobs. You don't get too much of it, and obviously I want to go for a kind of a nice period of time to well, where it's so far as well, just to really see everything, and everything is so big and spread out there. So it's something that I'm working on. I'm in talks with my work as well to maybe see if I can extend some leave, or it's obviously a circumstance that my work has never had to deal with, or probably many other workplaces in the UK. So it's something that we're working on together. We have a great sort of like HR team. So yeah, hopefully I'd like to go sort of April time next year. But yeah, I just need to see if it will work. But if not next year, it will definitely be the year after.
Many people are extending their gratitude to both of you. 很多人在天空里面在感谢你们两个人。And yeah, I think this is an amazing reunion again. Do we have any more questions? 我们还有其他的问题问朱帆和 Hannah 吗？ Oh, someone asked about what was the position were you in your family, and do you have a Chinese name? What is it?
Oh, okay. So I'm the third. So I have two older sisters, and then Drew Fan is younger than me. So third of four children. And funnily enough, obviously what I've always thought was my Chinese name was actually just from my adoption paperwork. And it's kind of doing research, it looks like it's probably just one given by the orphanage. So I've always, and I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but I think it's something like Zai Chao Gao. I think it's something you would say it like that. But I've actually come to learn, obviously, since the reunion, that is not my birth name that my birth mother has given me. So that is actually Yang Ling. So it turns out I have two more names.
Cool. All right. Tong Yu is sending us Hannah's Instagram. If you want to get in touch with Hannah, you can contact her via her Instagram. Do we have more questions, people? Before anyone raises their hand, I have one, Hannah.
Okay.
A lot of adoptees like us would wonder whether we would have to hurry in terms of starting our searching journey because the clock is ticking. Did you have concerns around that? And what advice would you give to other adoptees who might be hesitating and still thinking about the possibilities?
Yes, so obviously I was very aware that as I was getting older, obviously they were also getting older. I was aware that obviously anything could have happened, and if they sadly weren't here anymore, it would obviously be devastating that they would have never known about myself as well. But in terms of anyone that's maybe hesitating, I would say just go for it, because obviously it wasn't an overnight process of obviously having my DNA online to it being found. So I would say if you're looking to go for it, at least pop your do the kind of groundwork first as such, to have it already on there. So because it could happen within a week, a month, a year's time. So yeah, I'd say at least have kind of all of that ready. Yeah, if they are doing kind of a serious search and they do want to go down that route.
Thank you, Hannah. Do we have more questions, people? Let me check the chat box. We have a question for Xinran. This is a designated question, Xinran. Can you promote your newest book? We did not know that you did a book signing in Brighton last night.
Well,
Okay. Thank you, Hannah and Zhu Fan, and both families, and also all the volunteers or friends here. And I have to say, once again, I become so emotional when I listen to Hannah talking about your feeling and your experience with your birth family and adoptive family. And actually, I think your adoptive mom and joined this Zoom as well. Is she there? Is your maybe some adoptive families here? Anyway, and for me, actually, I have so many questions. It's about your feeling to the both families, because I think for your mom, it's like she got a treasure back. But for your birth parents, they might be, a bit worried, and in somehow someone shared family with them. It's not easy process as well. The reason I talk about is, yes, yesterday I went to the bookstore for my new book called The Book of the Secrets. It's about a family story. Actually, during my book tour around the world, I always talk about Chinese women, because the first I published in 2002 was A Good Woman of China. And I never write anything about Chinese men. And now, this is the latest book I'm writing. It's about Chinese men. Actually, this book I wrote 3 times, because first time is based on men's story, his voices. And the second time, I try to ask why he become a Communist Party member from a very wealthy capital family. Now later on, when I listen to his voices and read his letters again and again, then I realized that actually his life being shaped by women in his family, the mother and the wife and the secret lovers and his daughter as well. So this is why this is reflect my own family. Through my whole life, maybe many people knew that I was given away when I was 30 days old, because my parents joined the party and devoted their life to the party and the country. So I always dreamed or waiting for my mom say, I have a daughter. I want to spend more time with her. And then I haven't so far. I'm nearly 70. I'm still looking for this. So this is why, Hannah, when you talk about your life, and when I watching our volunteers video or report, I become as a part of you and all the adoptees as well. So sometimes I feel to myself is adoptee or maybe political orphan as well. So I want to thank you from my deep, deep heart to your adoptive parents and give you new life. According to China one-child policy, there are about 40 million men, more than women. So only 160,000 being adopted by 27 countries. So what about others? So in this case, I would say your birth parents, your birth family is very brave. Whatever happened, they give you life and keep you for forever. So yeah, this is I become an emotion again. Also, I'm very touched by your brother and Zhu Fan's talking, because he's very frankly and bravely, and not like many Chinese men want to hide these family secrets. Whatever is the reason, but he said he has this heart to you and to your birth family as well. And I saw the picture of you when you're visiting China, UK. And also I want to thank to our volunteer team leader, Si Wei and Tong Yu. And Tong Yu was the team leader with another 2 volunteers. I think is May or Lucia or someone, and to support you. support your birth family trip in UK. So it's very touching. I would like to give time to them to share something, the photos or stories about the two family unite in London. Is that okay? 谢谢 Thank you. Thank you.
Hannah, did you want to say something? Okay. All right. Do we have more questions? We'll wait for another minute before Tongyu will play a video of Hannah and her brother and her birth families getting together in the UK. Yeah.
四位 Are we going to play the 童语是 little video?
Yeah. I'm asking her to put it on as
Oh.
we wait any possible.
That one's very touching. Yeah.
H 小姐自婴儿期被英国家庭收养，28年来首次与中国生身家庭重逢，6位亲人历经半年奔波赴英团聚，泪拥相见。作为 MBL 母爱桥志愿者，我见证这一刻，感动于血缘与爱的延展，共同开启新的跨文化人生篇章。
为了这次相聚，我连见面时的呼吸都曾反复练习，言语从来没能将我的情意表达千万分之一。为了这个遗憾，我在夜里想了又想，不肯睡去。记忆它总是慢慢地累积在我心中，无法抹去。为了你的承诺，我在最绝望的时候都忍着不哭泣。陌生的城市啊，熟悉的角落里，也曾彼此安慰，也曾相拥叹息，不管将会面对什么样的结局。在漫天风沙里望着你远去，我竟悲伤得不能自己。多盼能送君千里，直到山穷水尽，一生和你相依。为你我用了半年的积蓄，漂洋过海的来看你。为了这次相聚，我连见面时的呼吸都曾反复练习。言语从来没能将我的情意表达千万分之一。为了这个遗憾，我在夜里想了又想，不肯睡去。记忆它总是慢慢地累积在我心中，无法抹去。为了你的承诺，我在最绝望的时候都忍着不哭泣。陌生的城市啊，熟悉的角落里，也曾彼此安慰，也曾相拥叹息，不管将会面对什么样的结局。在漫天风沙里望着你远去，我竟悲伤得不能自己。多盼能送君千里，直到山穷水尽，一生和你相依。多盼能送君千里，直到山穷水尽，一
Thank you, Tongyu. All right. I guess if we don't have any other questions in the chat box, we'll move on to the next session of our event. If you have any further questions, you can still put them in the chat box because we still have a little bit time today. And again, as we're very all, I guess, touched by Hannah and Zhu Fan's story, you can always leave them a message. You can always contact Hannah if you need further help, assistance, or advice regarding birth family searching. All right. Okay. I guess if you have any other questions for us, the MBL or the Adoption Dialogue, we have our contact info posted in the chat box as well. You can feel free to contact us if you need any other help. For example, when Hannah wanted to find interpretation volunteers, she reached out to us and we responded promptly. So if you need anything, just contact us. Okay, before we get to the closing remarks today, please allow me to introduce Tongyu, who just played the video, who will share with us the Roots and Heritage Tour offered by the MBL. The floor is yours, Tongyu.
Thank you, everyone. That's bring back a lot of memory. So I know I promised going to stick on the script, but I'm going to add on a bit of extra because all the memories back. So firstly, I have to share that it was a quite very strong, a very, very deep memory to me. It's my first experience of this amazing reunion. 28 years, wow. So, and I felt for Hannah how lucky she is. It's a really rare case, not just to meet her birth family, but they actually flew, the whole family flew all the way from China. And I believe this is a beginning of a new chapter. And earlier that people mentioned about culture clash, understand each other. I believe this is a beginning. There are many to come, I believe. And I also believe together with a strong emotion tied, they will fight for it. I do remember one small example I seen interpreting in the barbecue. One Zhu Fan and their family standing there looking around the crowd. In Western culture, this kind of a gathering is actually very different from Chinese gathering. So typical Chinese gathering will be sit around the table, everybody sitting down, and we're sharing food and taking turn to talk. But the barbecue gathering, you need the guest being very active. So I think beginning, Zhu Fan's family was standing there, didn't know what to do. And it wasn't anything, wasn't being rude, but Hannah, in the other hand, didn't know that they need to do anything. So I think later Hannah did realize you need to bring the family around, and it does need to give them some time to warm up, to get to the crowd, and to eventually actually be brave enough to walk to people, to actively talk to them instead of standing there waiting for others. So this kind of small things, I think, is really, it shows the culture difference in everyday life. However, because of this, so we actually designed a special course for adopted Chinese kids. This is not a typical Chinese language course. It's blended in heavily with the culture background, again, to help us in MBL, one of the bridges, to come across the culture bridge, and also will be introduced all these adoptee laws has changed. The social situation elements need to be aware. So all those are people taking for granted. because you're not in the situation, it doesn't even bring up awareness that I should be questioning, I should be thinking. So this is what the main course about. Of course, it will be learning about how to say hello, learning the words, how do we do a simple greeting, start with a simple greeting, okay? Very excited. This is not just a plan. It's actually starting as our Norwegian collaboration gurus here. Our Chinese course will start with a group of Norwegian students next Tuesday, and we're very excited and looking forward to it. Yeah, and so far, participants from Norway is not only adoptee; it includes the families as well. So that shows how very actively they were willing to understand the Chinese language, understand Chinese culture. Apart from designing language, providing language courses, we're also involved as helping adoptees to the root of inheritage tour. Now, so the very exciting, am I mute? Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Right. Okay. So looking into the near future, we're also preparing a roots journey to China, which planned for next year. This trip will open to adoptees from all over the world. We're in collaboration with a similar organization around the world. And it will be more than just a sightseeing tour. Our goal is to bring Chinese adoptees back to the country of their birth in a way that is respectful, emotionally informed, and deeply supported. We know that from many adoptees, going back to China can bring up a mixed emotions, from hope to confusion, from excitement, might be a bit of grief. So we'll build this in a journey with care. And finally, one initiative that's especially close to my heart, we've started developing English language curriculum for birth families in China. That is from the inspiration of Zhu Fan, who's just left. He started to learn English, and he was asking me for advice. And also, after interpretation, I'm still closely work between those two families, such as Hannah's had a birthday a couple of weeks ago. So I was helping Zhu Fan to deliver her birthday cake to the to bring it to Hannah. And the card. Yeah, so this is a bridge, is when they meet up, that's the beginning of the story. And also that's inspired us to design similar course based on the Chinese course for adoptees, but also English courses for Chinese birth families. We want to offer a way for both birth families to learn in simple, respectful language what adoption aboard looks like, what adoptees go through, and maybe even learn a few English words just in case a reunion happens one day. Because reconnection is not just about child finding parents is also about parents preparing to receive the child emotionally, culturally, linguistically. To me, this is what Mother's Bridge of Love has always stood for. Not reshow, not reunion for headlines, but mutual understanding. In Chinese, we say 双向奔赴, two people running towards each other. And sometimes it begins with something as simple as learning how to say hello in the same language. Thank you so much for listening and for walking alongside adoptees and their families whenever you are on their journey.
Thank you, Tongyu. Xinran, you have your hand up. Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, thank you, Tongyu. And it's very helpful for both sides and for the adoptees to learn some Chinese words so they can make a communication with the Chinese side of the volunteers or families. And also, I think it's very, very important for the Chinese and more to learn a bit English so they can enjoying the conversation with their missing daughters or family members adopted by other countries as well. But I want to add a little bit of information why MBL is going to set up this kind of trip, roots search trip in China. Because from our 20 years research, we discovered for many orphanages, they gave the orphans away, and from a same family, same village, and even between the siblings to the different countries. So we discovered this. Also, I'm working with the BBC before for the documentary on the twins being adopted between the America and Norway. And one is America and the Danish family as well. So we try to set up this dialogue. One idea was so everybody can join in, to invite your friends and family to join in, to find out if you come from a same area of orphanage, or because in the same orphanage, doesn't matter how old you are, you have a same surname and the same middle name. And so you have your own third name. So that maybe is the information for adoptees come to this dialogue to share and to find out more information about your relatives or siblings. Another hand, we want to develop this idea to bring the more volunteers back to China. For example, maybe in this one group just by the River Yellow, then if anyone come from this part of the China, then you can, tell us and let Tongyu or our team knows that. So then we can organize a trip 1 or 2, 3 times a year. And then, for example, or someone come from Hunan or Jiangxi, then we can organize the volunteers from any part of the world, adoptees from any part of the world to join the one trip. So maybe during this kind of geography trip, so people can find out more about the relatives or hometowns or roots culture sharing, because China is so big. It's like a whole Europe. You can't say the Sweden is the same French, or you can't say the Russia or like someone else in UK. So in China, it's very big. So if we can help adoptees to go to China to find out more closely to your orphanage or the places they found you, maybe help you to develop the network for yourself. So this is the idea I like to add. And yeah, people can, pass around these ideas to others. And also, I hope our team, Sui and Tongyu, we can make some little video or little announcement for adoptees in different countries. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Very
Thank you.
touching program. Thank you.
Thank you. As Xinran just mentioned, MBL is launching a new project, probably starting next year, when we will bring small groups of international adoptees to China for a tour, a short tour, approximately lasting for a couple of days, one region at a time. We hope to bring these people to China via a tourist visa, through a tourist title, so that things are less politically sensitive and are done more easily. And we do hope to launch the official statement of these searching China tours very soon. And please do stay tuned. Okay, as we reach the end of this event today, I want to thank you all today for coming and listening to these stories. And another great, big, huge hug to Hannah and Zhufan, who had done this, who had touched all of us, who had inspired all of us. And we thank you for your bravery. We thank you for your strength. And we thank you for your opening heart to share your stories with us as well.
And thanks to the two interpreters, translations. Yeah, thank you. Without you, I think the MBL dialogue might be stuck there. Thank you.
Can
谢谢。
our interpreters turn on your camera for 1 second so that we can see your faces and wave to you, please? Hello, Jennifer. She has worked hard. Limpu, do you want to turn on your camera so that we can say hi to you and thank you more officially?
Harder. Yeah, it's very nice. Many of you have been in my flat, actually. I can see you now. So happy. Yeah.
Thank you for our interpreters. Thank you, Jennifer, and thank you, Limpu. We have 2 interpreters tonight. They have worked very hard to make sure that this event goes smoothly. Thank you, interpreters. Big heart.
What about the next one? Next one, I think you have ideas. You were invited some special speakers, yeah? Sui.
I was going to announce that. Please stay tuned. As you know, MBL hosts 4 quarterly events every year, these dialogues on adoptees and adoptive families. And the next event will be about the writers and authors who have published books about Chinese adoption stories. We will invite 2 to 3 well-known authors to share with us their experiences and feelings when writing their stories. Please stay tuned. I'm gonna have to hide their names at this moment so that you'll be even more excited when we announce them. Please do come. Next event will be held on the 28th of December. Hopefully everyone will be on holiday by then and we'll catch each other during the holidays. Mark the date and stay tuned. We will very love to see you there. Thank you again and see you all in December before the New Year's. Heartshake.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sui.
Thank you.
You're brilliant. Thanks, everyone. Thank you. 谢谢。
Oh,
谢谢。
thank you, dear Hannah and Zhufan. See you next time.
See you next time. Oh, 谢谢。
See you soon.
See you soon. In
Hannah, very, very nice to meet you. I hope I can meet your family again next time. Yeah. Sorry about the last time I couldn't, make it. But you're all in my heart and lots of volunteers. Yeah. Sometimes Tongyu will organize, we're together.